F2.
And this is the parcel tax item that I was just talking about. You know, as we look at what's happened to our funding and the kind of losses that we've had, we've been out talking to our community to really help them better understand that. And tonight what we're bringing to the board is a recommendation for a June parcel tax to renew our parcel tax from 2008 that our voters passed at 79%, and B, to add a levy on that to generate another $4 million that would help restore some of the class size losses that we've had, to try to help support our secondary classes in particular, to bring back our elementary music program, and to really address some of the underlying issues that we've had. Now, a $4 million addition to our parcel tax isn't going to fill a $40 million gap, but it is the best hope that we have to bring back additional resources into our schools. And tonight I'm recommending that the board adopt the resolution to put this parcel tax on the ballot for June 5th of 2012.
Is there any public comment?
There's one speaker.
2 minutes.
Sarah Butler. And Ms. Butler, our clock is having issues, so we're just going to time you on the old phone.
Okay, that's fine.
And we'll give you a 1 minute warning.
Warning. Yeah. Thank you. I'm Sarah Butler. I wanted to speak on this for two reasons. One, that I was, as part of PTA, I was up in Sacramento a week ago for the legislative conference. We heard, that was a 2-day conference where we heard not only about PTA programs, but a lot about the state and what's going on. We heard from a representative from the Department of Finance, Michael Cohen, from Gene Ross, who's the executive director of the California Budget Project, and a senator and several other members from the legislature. And my point is that it brought it home how bleak it is in Sacramento, how devastating the state budget is. And if anyone hasn't looked at the California Budget Project's website, you can Google it. They have, you know, they're independent and have some great information on education, finance, and funding. And so I'm just trying to say it's really apparent how uncertain the state budget situation is, and I keep feeling like if people understood it better, they would get behind solutions, which of course we need revenue. Schools take money to fund.
1 minute left.
1 minute left, okay. And obviously funding is the biggest problem that all school districts have. And so of course I'm in support of you doing a parcel tax. However, the one thing I want to point out from reading the information on your parcel tax, it's not clear if the parcel tax passes what the result is. In other words, would you be rescinding some of the layoff notices, and if so, how many? That's the one question I would have that I would hope you could address. Thank you.
Mr. Thurman, any comments? Or a motion?
Well, I would move approval of the resolution for the parcel tax. I think it goes without say that these are resources needed to support all of the important programs that make learning possible for our students. And it was a good question that came up about why it doesn't say how you will use the dollars. That creates a higher threshold of voter approval if we articulate specifics about how the funds will be used, but it's important for us to leave flexibility for those decisions to be made should the voters to approve the measure. So I will say that I'm glad that we are doing all that we can and that the state allows us to do to support local students. When the board is ready, after they've made their comments, I'm prepared to make a motion in support of the parcel tax.
Ms. Merriweather, do you want to second that? Or?
I second.
Okay. Any comments?
Definitely, I really believe that our community is aware of just what dire straits this state is in. And because of the past history of them voting for parcel taxes and for bond measure really shows that they do care about this district. And so I think it's just a move in the right direction for our community, for us to try to get revenues into our district to save our schools and to save what we have here. And we do have something really good here in West Contra Costa County School District. So I think this is in the right direction, and I'm going to be out there
No, it's
hitting
great.
the pavement.
Ms. Cronenberg?
It is unfortunate that this is what we are left to, and really, without being able to pass this parcel tax, we will be taking additional devastating cuts because we've learned to become dependent upon this funding. So what we have is a state that has decided that we will fund the absolute most basic education, and if you want anything beyond that, you have to take it in your hands as a community and give it to yourself. And that's what we have to do. We've done it before. We're going to continue to do it. The state doesn't seem to have a real strong plan to change that philosophy. So this is what we're going to need to continue to do. I only wish it could be longer and be for more, but this is what our pollsters have told us that we can be successful at, and this is what we must do. So I very, very enthusiastically support it.
Mr. Medrano?
As a member of the committee, of the board committee, focusing on whether we should or should not do this, I completely, thoroughly support it. And I know members of our community will support it too. And we're looking for support from all of our labor groups, the teachers, all the workers in our district, Local 1, the administrators, everyone. And I and others in the community will be working on this too. So, yes, we need it. The public supports it, and we can keep going. Thank you.
What I want to share is my admiration and appreciation for all my board members having the determination and the resolve to move forward and not become consumed by what I would say are thoughts or impressions that one could be led to believe about why they can't do something. I think this board is saying why they can and want to do something. I think that sense of optimism encourages me and enables me to also say that I'm proud of all of you for saying that it's vital to engage people, at least in the conversation, and that nobody's deterred or feels hampered by, I don't know the word hampered because we all feel hampered, but we're not deterred or not frightened by what everybody sees as an obsessively high target of 66 6/7 to be able to pass it. And I can say that we have done this enough to where we're comfortable that our efforts and our knowledge and experience will lead us in a very, very good way. Most people don't know Moraga will be on the ballot at the elementary school in May. I learned today that 4 other districts are going out with funding measures, just like we are. So we're not an exception. We're not an anomaly. We're advocating for our kids. And we should do that every day. And we should say, as we said with the information on African American student performance, that we're not going to leave any stone unturned to advocate for our students. And that we are committed and concerned that they don't have enough. I don't ever think there's ever enough. But we do know that there's been cuts. We've heard students talk about increases in PE classes, increase in science classes, increase in all their other courses. We've seen this board be able to sustain police services, sustain adult education. Well, at some point, something's got to give. And if we can't continue to encourage the community to at least be able to extend the measure as well as increase the measure, then we're going to have a much tougher conversation. And the beautiful thing about this is that we know that we're going to put everything out, but we're not at a place of desperation. We're at a place where we can inspire our public and say, you can make a difference now. You already have an existing parcel tax, so it's nothing new. It's nothing they haven't seen. We're saying, look, just give us that additional 3 cents. That's what this campaign's really about. It's not about a parcel tax. They're already going to pay it. They're paying 7.2 cents all the way to 2014. That's what we have to understand. The conversation is, help us out just a little bit more. Because there's still going to be a parcel tax there, folks. Mr. Thurman, we still have a parcel tax. So what we're really campaigning about is saying, look, the state has devastated us. And now we even see that under the Governor Brown's proposal, it's not kid-friendly. And that we're not hearing enough Democratic support to get us over the top. So we have to go back to those who probably are saying, look, I've given a lot, but maybe I'll give it a little bit more. The outpouring of support I've seen from the individuals just around the Nystrom incident makes me know that people do care. I saw people just showing up, wanting to be supportive and saying, what can I do to help? Let's take that same can-do attitude and extend it out. We're not going to have to worry about funding this campaign. Our message will get out. Mr. Thurman, you challenged me, you asked me to step up and do the contributions. Well, guess what? We have the money for the campaign. That's done. So now, as Ms. Merriweather has said, it's just time to put the boots on and hit the ground. Are we going to put what is, I think, the difference maker between getting the 55% for your bond measures and your 2/3? It's not about the money. It's about the extra effort everybody's going to make to talk to that 1 or 2 voters to say, look, can you just do it for us? Can you go out and register if you're not registered? If you didn't think about voting in the presidential primary, will you at least do it for the kids? Because that's what we're talking about. Winning and losing sometimes comes down to there's 300 precincts. It comes down to 2 or 3 people saying yes versus saying no. So don't look at it like it's a big ocean that you got to swim across. Remember that the public is already there for us. We know that 62% of our people are going to say yes. We've seen it traditionally. If you look at the average, 62% come hell or high water, they're going to say yes to public education. They're going to say yes to West Contra Costa. Like I said, it will be that 2 or 3 people difference that's going to be the delta between saying we accomplished our objective versus saying we got to go back at it again. So I'm encouraged. I think that it's good timing. And then if it passes, then, you know, the state has their measure on in November. Hopefully that will pass. And then we'll be looking not at a great situation, but one where we can survive and give our kids a better education. But with that, it's been like a roll call vote on this. It's been moved by Mr. Thurman, seconded by Ms. Merriweather. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Cronenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Medrano?
Yes.
Ms. Merriweather?
Yes.
Mr. Thurmond?
I also want to say thank you to the citizens of West Contra Costa Unified, because you have been extremely generous in supporting our parcel tax and allowing us to rebuild almost every school in this district. And for that, I say yes.
President Ramsey?
Yes. Matter passes 5-0. You guys have got a campaign. Wish us luck, and we'll be out there. Okay, we're on to discussion items. All right.